So welcome, guys, to the 2020 Mill Mountain Apprentice Q&A questionnaire situation virtually on Zoom. Yeah, we are the cast of Polka Dots, the Cool Kid musical, and we're excited that you're here, and we're excited to hear what you have to ask us. Roberto.
Yes, hello everyone. Like Annalise said, we're very excited for you guys to be here. We're gonna have a fun time. We're gonna start off with some introductions. So I'll just kick it off. My name is Roberto Mendez. My pronouns are he, him. I am currently a student at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. And I grew up mainly in Atlanta, Georgia, which is only 2 hours away from Columbus. It's a cute little town. It's really nice. I auditioned. That was not my first choice, Columbus. I actually didn't even, it wasn't even on my radar at all. I auditioned for about 5 schools, not musical theater. I'm not really a musical theater. I mean, I love musical theater, and that's where, Columbus is where Victoria is from. Oh, nice. Yes. But musical theater, I knew that wasn't my, the thing that I wanted to focus on. So I auditioned just for a bunch of just straight acting theater programs across the country. I did some auditions in New York, but I ended up going to Columbus State. It just felt right at the time, and it still feels right. I really enjoy it there. And yeah, my class size at Columbus started out at 13 people in our acting class. It's dwindled down as the years have gone by, as a lot of programs, it usually kind of dwindles down as the years go by. So now it's only 10 of us, and I'm about to go into my 4th and final year there. And so, yeah, I'm supposed to graduate in 2021, spring of 2021. And it's been a great time. I've really enjoyed the program there. Our program focuses on the Meisner technique. We do other techniques as well. But that's just kind of what we focus on the most. We do a bunch of Lesak work and some Chekhov. And yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoy it. And everyone will talk about their own personal experience, and we'll talk more about this later. But really, college is just about what fits you the most, what you want to make sure you feel comfortable in everything in your program. So it's all about what works for you. And Columbus has worked for me really well. So yeah, all right. That's me. Next person.
Hey y'all. My name is Alexia Buckner. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but I went to school at Southeast Missouri State in a small town in the southeast portion of Missouri. I am not like Roberto. I auditioned for 2 schools, got accepted into both, but you see, it costs money, in case you weren't aware. So I went to the cheaper option. Granted, the cheaper option had better facilities. I went and auditioned for SEMO, and then I auditioned for Florida State University. Got accepted into both, but chose SEMO, like I said, because it's cheaper. My class size started out with the cap of about 50 students who were in 3 respective majors, so that inclusive of fewer minors as well. Because I was in theater, acting, and in dance and tech theater. We all just came in the same group with the same group as a freshman class, and that dwindled down to about 22-ish people of a graduating class. I graduated with a fairly big class. And now all of us are kind of spread out across the country. Some people went to Chicago, some people went to New York, some people went to Florida, and I'm going to end up in Virginia myself. So yeah, that's me.
Hi everyone, my name is Achilles Mulkey. I use he, they pronouns. I'm originally from Northwest Arkansas, the city of Rogers. If you've never heard of it, it's very small and cute. I took a gap year, and when I did audition, it was for about, I think, 7 schools, which I thought was a lot, and I still think is a lot. Then I met a lot of people who auditioned for like 20 schools, and I was like, ooh, very intimidating. But when I auditioned for schools, I did a few pre-screens, and then I did go to Chicago Unifieds, just because a majority of the schools I wanted to try and get into were going there. And I actually ended up going to a school that I walked into. It was not part of any plan. Viterbo University happened to be attending, and they happened to have a few walk-in slots, and my mom, God bless her, grabbed me one and was like, go, just give it a try. And they were super, super nice. I got a really good vibe from the right off the bat, and I ended up there. It's a really tiny school. It's technically a Catholic university, but it's just because some nuns founded it. People of all walks of life have go there and feel comfortable. And my class size was, I think, like 11, and then we graduated with 10, but we had several people transfer out and people transfer in during that process. So not the original class, but all very good. And I think the class size now is bigger. I heard that the incoming freshman class this year was like 22 musical theater students, which kind of blows my mind because we like have a really one-on-one relationship with the professors, and I don't know how they're gonna manage all that. I think they're getting some more faculty. But I graduated in 2019, so I've been out of school for a year. It's been grand. And then COVID happened, but at least I'm out of school, so well, we're doing that now. And that's about it from me for now. But yeah, just echoing what Roberto said, it's all about what works for you, and it's all about learning how to not play the comparison game, because at the end of the day, so many programs are giving you the exact same training, and it's just about where you want to be and what you can afford and your connection with the people there. That's most important. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nisa. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised. I auditioned for 2 schools. I actually was gonna take a gap year, didn't. My mom was like, you're going to college. And I'm grateful for that now, you know. I still think I could have taken one and been fine, but I'm very grateful because actually connections and networking has been one of the most important things, if not the most important thing I learned from college. Wasn't gonna go, had this dance teacher in a show I did in high school tell me, dance teacher director, tell me, I remember him saying, if you wanna go to college, I'll write you a recommendation letter. I remember that. Fast forward 2 years, emailed him literally at the end of college auditions process and all that. And I was like, hey, I heard you're working here at Shenandoah Conservatory. Can I audition past the audition date? And he was like, let me see what I can do. And I got in, and it was just an obvious choice for me because I just felt like it all happened for a reason, and it kind of just all fell together kind of perfectly for me. Shenandoah Conservatory is in Winchester, Virginia. And so that was a weird transition for me. But my class size was 25, 26. It was larger than that. I don't know how big it was before that, but when I got there, it was 25, 26, and graduated with 23 people. And I just graduated this past spring, so yeah.
Hey y'all, I am Annalise Gallio. She, her, nice to see some familiar faces. I'm from Salem / Roanoke, kind of grew up in both. I auditioned, now that is the next question. Okay, so I auditioned for first year, I only auditioned at one school because for a majority of my senior year, I thought I was gonna go in pre-med. And then the last 3 months, like when I needed to get my college decision in, I was like, okay, I want to do music theater. Like, this is what I want to do with my life. So I applied to like 2 schools, got into Emory and Henry, got into their BFA program. But after that year, after it was actually like the first 3 weeks of school, I was like, this is not for me. I was going to drop out, but decided to try to transfer. So I am now going to school at Boston Conservatory at Berkeley. I went from a class size of like 7 music theater students to 75 music theater students. That was a really big shift, especially because like when there's the music auditions for the semester, it's really crazy because it's like 4 grades and there's about 75 in each auditioning for one show. And so it's like a very big real world experience. Like an audition at school seems like a cattle call audition. And I had to start over since I transferred. So I was supposed to graduate in 22, but now I am going to graduate in 23. So I'm a sophomore, but I like to say that I'm like a 5th semester sophomore. So I don't discredit the fact that I already did college before this, but yeah, that's all about me.
Cool. Hey, I'm Maddie Walker. Sorry if my Wi-Fi is like putting me on the struggle bus. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I auditioned for 8 schools. I visited most schools to audition on campus. I did the New York Unified auditions, where you can like knock out a few schools at once because they're all in the same area, all in the same buildings. So I did that. I ended up staying in Orlando at the University of Central Florida, UCF. Loved it. My class size is like 15, 16 people. We basically graduated with the same amount. I think we only lost like 2 people. And I graduated this past May from my couch in a virtual commencement in my pajamas. That was good. Okay, so thank you guys so much for being here. We're so happy to do this. We're gonna open it up to a Q&A. So if you would like to either ask a question going into the participants button, there's a button raise hand, and you can just keep that turned on until we call on you. So like feel free to raise your hand at any moment in this, or you're more than welcome to type your question into the chat. And we're just going to do our best to get through as many questions as possible. There's no small question because I know this is a really big, scary process and it's constantly changing. And it's like weird. It's very weird. And like none of your friends will probably go through the same process as you. So let's open it up. Does anyone have any questions? And if not, we're so happy to just keep speaking about ourselves. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I would like to start with Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a rising senior. So I have like 3 questions, but I'll do one first. My most important one. So my father is a lawyer, and that his ideology of my future conflicts a lot with mine. So I've decided that I would like to double major. That way I can kind of have a practical option and also have, because not that theater isn't practical, but you know, in case something happens, especially with the current climate of theater and coronavirus, we don't know what's going to happen next. So I want to double major with music theater and then psychology, and I want to minor in Spanish. So I'm not going to have a life, but I know it'll be worth it. And I just wanted to know if any of you guys had any experiences with double majors or knew anyone that double majored. I know one of the big things is that I'll probably have to do a BA instead of a BFA, but I didn't know if there were other things that I should be aware of going into that, or if it's even practical depending on the school that I go to?
Yeah. Okay, so majoring and minoring is something that's very school specific from my experience. It's definitely possible at certain schools, but at others it's not really an option. At my school, you definitely can double major at UCF. But I would advise getting all of your gen eds, your general education courses out of the way. So if you did like dual enrollment or like I think IB program stuff will help you like cross out some of those requirements. It's easy to like get those out of the way so that you can devote more time to the other major you are pursuing. I minored. I did a dance minor, which was really easy to incorporate because a lot of the classes I was already taking in my major, like all my dance courses, just went straight into the dance minor checklist as well. But I do have a few friends who double majored, one in math, one in education, and then a lot of people minoring. Oh, in journalism. I have a friend who does journalism, and it's a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot, and they have to stay an extra year. Sometimes, even if they didn't already do all of the education courses. Like, even if they got all of their like science credits out of the way before starting college, they still had so many credits left because it's so major specific that they needed to stay extra to get the degree. So it's totally possible, but I would also say kind of like prioritize one major over the other. Like maybe I'm gonna knock out my theater major and then I'm gonna like push all of those really intense English classes later into my career when I can have more time to do those.
Also going off of Maddie a little bit, I didn't double major, but I had a minor in journalism when I first started going to school. I ended up dropping that minor just because I just got overwhelmed my first year. I just felt like I was doing a lot, but it is possible. I know a lot of people that double major, but it just, you have to also be aware of like what you are capable of doing, and like if it gets too much, it's completely fine to like take that in for yourself and say like I think I'm doing too much. I need to like take a break or like slow it down. Maybe I'll drop this for now. But my parents are also, my mom is a lawyer as well, and I always my whole life have had that like be a lawyer sort of like talk with my parents, and to this day they still kind of want me to go to law school at some point. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're always talking to me about it, and like you have to like, you can take that in and have that conversation with your parents, but at the end of the day, like, it's your life. And I have that conversation with my parents all the time. I tell them like, hey, yeah, maybe one day, but like right now, this is what I want to focus on. This is what I want to do. So at the end of the day, it's your life. Like, do what you think is going to serve you the best. And if you want to double major, do it. Like, all power to you. And if along the process you want to not, it's all you. It's like your journey, and this goes for everyone. Like college is like your own personal journey. So feel free to like make it your own.
Yeah, my dad's also a lawyer, and there was a lot of we're in the chat today, but yeah, especially if your parents are like practicality minded as far as like this is your like careers that are practical, like it's okay to be like, okay, I'm going into this, I'm gonna double major for a sec or just give it a try to appease you, and then like if it's not working, be just like real with them and be like, hey, like it's gonna cost extra money for me to stay another year, or in the process of double majoring you'll find out if you like one more than another, and then that'll also help you decide. So like Roberto says, never like don't feel bad about your decisions because it is your life at the end of the day, and you need to do what's best for you, for sure.
Tagging on what Maddie said, yes, like knocking out your gen ed courses, and this is just a general note for everybody, like depending on how your school's working out, I know personally from my school, it was broken down into, we have cap for the amount of credits we could take. So it was like for musical theater majors, you were kind of encouraged to try and take about 9 credit hours of gen eds every semester, which is not terrible. That's very doable. That's about 3 classes. But when you have shows and you have rehearsals and you have cabarets and all that other stuff, it can get overwhelming. So yeah, like trying to stick with that if you're trying to branch out into 2 majors is very important. But also my roommate was a psychology major, and I know psychology is a long journey because you can either stay in gen psych or you can go all the way to like getting your master's. So I think you got to ask yourself, how far do you want to go with that degree? Because you can knock out musical theater in 4 years, but psychology is about a 6 to 8 year haul, depending on how far you want to go. And there are also probably counselors who can help you like merge those things together, and you can be a resident musical theater psychologist that's standing as a resident artist for a company. You know, the world's your oyster, but just keep that in mind that like musical theater is a little bit easier for you to kind of like put a pin on and know that you can get it out in under 4 years, but psychology is a little bit longer. And if none of the apprentices have anything else to say, I'm going to pass the mic to Ellen so she can ask her question.
My question was how did you guys find your resources, like monologue wise and song wise? And how did you like know that that was the combination that would be right?
I think like trial and error, honestly. Like it is a-okay to fail and like try something and then it doesn't work. And then you take that in and you're like, all right, well now I know that didn't work. And through that process, you start like getting better at choosing material. Like just the more you practice, the more you do it. And if you want to just like pick a monologue to do 1 week, literally just for yourself, like just like pick a monologue, learning, or pick a song and learn it, and then like do it in your room. And now in this like world of Zoom and like recording and self-tapes are really big and like they're important as well. Record yourself doing it, watch it back, and you're like, okay, I don't like that one. Or, oh my God, I love that one. So I think like the best way that I learned is literally just trial and error, and then just keep working at it. And you can keep working at it. You can do it at auditions, or you could do it in your room and just like practicing for yourself. Just the more you work at it, the better you'll get at like choosing material for yourself as well. And it's also great, like you have wonderful resources here. You have Christopher and Travis who can like help you out as well. Like send them a video. Like, hey, I just recorded myself doing a monologue. What do you guys think of this? So like also know that you have resources around you and you have peers that are willing to help you out. The theater community is like so small and so tight knit that like there are people out there that want you to succeed and want you to like do better. So like use yourself and use the people around you to like keep working and keep practicing, and you'll get better at choosing material for yourself.
For me, the first time around when I auditioned for Emory, it was a very like low-key audition. Like there really wasn't auditions. There's like, say something. And I'm like, okay, here's something I have. But I kind of used stuff that I watched other people use because, to be completely honest, my first I didn't really know what to do or how to do it. And so that's why my first round is awful, and that's why I transferred. But the second year round, when I had more training and knew what to do, I read so many plays, not only to find monologue material, not only so I could better my library of plays and stuff, but also to pick out monologues for myself. And that was a big like independent moment where I wasn't like, it feels good to read a play and then be like, this is where I want my monologue. And especially in college auditions, settings, doing monologues that like no one else has done. It's just from random plays that I've read over the past year. And that kind of set me apart in an audition room, because the people at my auditions were like, oh, which was like pretty cool. So like be crazy and just read a ton of plays. Like that's the best thing that you can do for monologue work. For music work, I just like to sing songs that I like to sing that show my personality. So that's my sense.
I will drop my Instagram handle in the bio, one, because I love following people, but then two, I will drop my name as it appears on Facebook, because there are Facebook groups that are literally bred for a bunch of our musical theater and theater acting brains that I'm happy to invite you guys to. One is the Play Library, which is a place where you can shout out and leave your email address, and you're basically just like, hey guys, I'm looking for She Kills Monsters by this person, does anyone have it? And people will send you that. You don't have to pay for it. Most people can upload and do all that stuff. And there's the library, which is for musical. I see Caroline just put in the chat, you're on it, girl. Yeah, I'm happy to invite you guys to see those pages, so you can basically get a bunch of free sheet music, a bunch of free plays, and make your book as huge as possible before you even get inside of it. That's just a really good resource.
I love Spotify, and if you say you make a playlist with like songs that are kind of similar, and then Spotify after that playlist stops playing, it'll play songs similar to it. And that's how I found a lot of songs that like not so obscure, or like, you know, you hear like the people are like behind the table are like, what are they singing? But like obscure enough that like you stand out and it's not like overdone. So yeah, that's my favorite thing is Spotify. And even for like music to listen to, like it's just great. Like,
ooh, when I put together college audition packages, there was an extreme lack of authenticity, because at the time I was presenting feminine and I was like super masking everything that I was. And so I think that if you can find material that sort of showcases things about you, or sorry about that, that showcases like your personality or something about your life story so far that you think is interesting, like that can also help you stand out in a room. And I think that the idea of like overdone material is starting to fade a little bit. Like if it works for you, and or at least it was in my last couple years of training, people were more open to the idea of like, oh, Alexia's going to be back in a sec. But people are more open to the idea of like, if you're killing it and you connect with it and you're starting with action, you're doing all this stuff and it sounds good in your voice, if it's a monologue, like if it's just like, if it's you, go do it and do it well. And that's good too. And no one's going to be like, oh, I've heard that 10 times a day, because maybe you were the best, you know, like because you really connected with it. So yeah, don't necessarily cut off yourself from possibilities just because you think it's overdone. If you love the material, go for it.
Yeah, okay, definitely read plays, watch TV shows, watch movies. Like you can get material from anywhere. I got material from a short film that one of my friends produced. Do not Google comedic female monologue, because everyone is doing that. Everyone is doing that and they will hear it. I'm just going to tell you. You may think because you found it on page 7 of the Google results that no one has found it. People found it, so don't put it past them. Okay, also like know your pieces. Once you've like found what you're doing and you've like cataloged it, so you're like, great, if they ask for this, I have this. Know them, know who wrote them, and like put that in the slate, because you look really knowledgeable if you're like, I will be performing this monologue from an octoroon by Brandon Jacob Jenkins, and they're gonna be like, Britt, she knows who Brandon Jacob Jenkins is, right? Okay, also this advice is gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna explain it. lock in your material, but stay flexible. And I will explain that. Lock it in as in like know it in your heart, in your soul. And don't like back down from it. Just like know you're gonna do it like 100% confident. Cause I'm not kidding. My first audition was for Texas State. I was the next person to go into the room. We had to sing 2 cuts and do the monologue. The girl before me, not even kidding, sang the same 2 songs in the same order with the same 2 cuts. And I was like, what? And this was my first audition, and I thought I picked, like, I worked really hard with a voice teacher. We picked more obscure stuff. Like, there was so much range. I was like, what? What? I, like, ran to the lobby. I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. She was like, use it. Walk in the room and be like, you're not gonna believe it, but you're about to hear the same song. So, like, use it. And I did, and I went in, and we, like, laughed about it. And then they were like, well, show us yours. And it, like, turned into a moment, and I was a bit more memorable that way. Also, stay flexible. So like before every audition, there's usually like a little orientation where like the program director or some faculty members come out, or students, and they talk to you and they're like, hey, this is what we want to see today. Just be you, la di di da. So keywords to like take in, be you. Okay, then I'm gonna pick the song that is the most me. Or if they're like, we want to hear your range, like show us what you can do, then you're going to be like, okay, I need to make sure a soprano song is in there, or something that goes really low, something impressive. Or if they're like, we love how like the musical theater world is like transforming into pop rock, then like take that in. No, like, okay, maybe I should show them my pop rock. So yeah, lock it in, but be flexible. Cool.
I want to throw something else real quick in as well. Like, everyone's kind of like hit on this as well, but like you gotta love what you're doing. Like you need to, like, if you love it, if you love the pieces that you're performing, like it'll come across like nothing else. Like that'll be the top thing that like people will see is like, wow, this person is having a great time up there because they love what they're doing. So like don't go in the room like with a piece that you like, yeah, I kind of like this piece. It's okay. Like not like fully love it. And even if like maybe you're like working on a piece and you're still trying to figure out what you love about it, like focus on that. Like focus on the things that you love about a piece. If like so maybe you're given a piece that you have to do, like focus on what you love about it, and that'll come across in an audition room.
Okay, Caroline asked, is it okay to use monologues/songs that aren't from Broadway shows if the school doesn't specify?
Yes. Like if no one's specifying what you can do, then like the world is yours. You can do anything. You can even like, I mean, you can do something you've written also. Like, I mean, I would not go into an audition room with something that I've written that I wrote like last night and I haven't shown to anyone and then like do it. But like for the SETC pre-screens and for SETC, I don't even know if this is technically allowed, so maybe don't do this. But I did a piece that I wrote and I had performed for my professors and like worked with my professors on the pieces, and at the SETC pre-screen, I got the highest male score with a piece that I had written myself. And then I went to SETC and did that piece, and I thought I did a pretty good job with it. So like, it doesn't even have to be something that's something that you find out in the world. If you think you can write something, write something. So like, if it's not specified what you can do, literally the world is your oyster. You can write something, you can get something from a TV show, a movie, a play. If it's specified, then I would say like play it safe and like do what is specified. Like if they say do something from a published play or a musical, do something from a published play or musical. But if that specificity is not there, then by all means, like go for whatever you think is going to serve you the best.
Okay, Isaac, your question, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about for video pre-screen stuff, with so much of stuff now being like fully dependent on video and recorded material. I guess like, what do you have to think about differently than a in-person audition when you're doing it to a camera?
Okay, hold please. This is a tripod. It's time to invest. So, with pre-screens going online in the climate that we're in right now, like, I know that you see TikTokers and vloggers and all the special things that they do to make themselves look beautiful. That is literally what artists and actors have to do to make themselves look beautiful as well. So it's very, very important that you have a space that has good natural light or light that you can fill. I'm gonna show you my room for a second. This is the equipment I'm using, okay? Giant lamps, desk lamp, overhead light, all the natural, all the filler, all the beauty, but it's because you want them to see you as much as they can because they are missing out on that opportunity in person. So it's very important that you have great lighting. It's very important that you have a stack of books, or you have a tripod, or you have, you know, a friend with a really, really steady hand if you need a reader. Just something very stable to get the best view of you, so you can do this audition to the best of your ability, but also so a casting director is not missing out on an opportunity to like recognize your facial features or get to know you as a person and read your energy. It's really hard to read people's energies when like half shadowed. Yeah, okay. Definitely invest, and it can be cheap. My ring light was $20 on Amazon, and it totally gets the job done. My biggest advice though is pre-screens need to be timely. I would say record, give yourself like start recording now if you can. If you're a senior right now, if you're going into your senior year, record now. Tell yourself you have to get everything recorded by October because a lot of schools have rolling admission. So like Elon, for instance, they will look at your pre-screen as soon as they send it in. So they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, we had 3 new pre-screens come in over the weekend. Yes, no, yes. Other schools will wait until the deadline and be like, okay, all of our pre-screens are in, let's start looking at them. So you do need to be timely with your pre-screens with some schools. I'm also, YouTube is a great resource. I'm gonna throw in the chat some pre-screens, and I'm not gonna be offensive because some of these people are my friends. So I'll be like, I'll give you some really good examples and some like, it was very awkward to do that pre-screen in your high school gym with the acoustics crazy. So I'll send some links in the chat. Achilles.
Yeah, sort of bouncing off of that, I think the more very simple things you can do to sort of set yourself up for success are just like do a sound check, film, and then listen back, hear what you sound like, make sure you're in frame, but give yourself space to move. They want to like see how you gesture, how you like allow yourself like to move while you do your piece, so you don't like aren't standing there frozen, like, oh, only your face like doing gymnastics. Like they want to see you be as natural as possible on camera, and that's hard. That's really hard. But like, especially if you can film like an intro and say, hey, thank you so much for inviting me to submit, bada bing, bada boom, and sort of like give them your natural voice and your natural self. That's always great. I don't really know what some schools don't let you do that, but if you can, that's always very good. But yeah, just the more you can think about the basics of how it's going to come across, present yourself as professional as possible. Even if you have limited equipment, just work with what you got and try to be really clean with it. And yeah, go on YouTube, just look up college audition pre-screen and just scroll through. Or like if there's a university you're applying for, like if it's OU, like OU pre-screen 20 whatever year, and you'll find a lot of people have left their pre-screens public, which is a decision. And you can go view them and you can be like, okay, I like what he did here, what she did, not something I want to present. But like, and it's not bashing anyone. It's just like how it's seeing what is out there and what people are submitting, and you being like, okay, notes. Yeah. So Learn from watching others is also very, very good.
Something that I didn't know that was going to be important until after I did like my pre-screens and audition process the second time was I bought a dress for my pre-screens and auditions, and I look back at it and it is not my personality at all. And when I like have filmed videos for like to send into companies and stuff like that, I now know that I like to wear clothes in my my like videos and go into audition rooms wearing clothes that are me and wearing my hair the way that I would wear my hair and wear shoes that are comfortable but like I like, because you're showing these people who you are. And it took a long time for me to learn that like I want, like, there is that performance like facade, but like this is me, and like I want to show them this is who I am and this is what you're gonna get. And so that also made me really comfortable in filming, is like knowing that I'm wearing clothes that I like and that I feel comfortable in. So maybe that could help you if you feel awkward standing in front of a camera wearing a dress that you never wear. Like, stand in front of the camera wearing some like really cool outfit that you have that like shows who you are.
Quickly going off of what Annalise said, like this goes for auditions in general, but also like pre-screen or for like self-tapes and stuff, things like that. Like you have to be you, because like, and I know that can be hard, because I love in-person auditions just because I love like the energy, that like the interaction of like having this person in front of you and like showing them your energy and showing them who you are. It's much easier to do that in person than on the camera. But you can find ways to like show off your personality and show off who you are on camera by like Annalise said, like wearing something that you completely feel comfortable in, because that if you're uncomfortable in just simply what you're wearing, that'll come off on like the camera. So like we're all beautiful people, and you are most beautiful when you are showing yourself off, like, and like just be you. Like that's like the simple version of like putting it, just be yourself. And that'll show out, like that'll come across like on the camera. So be yourself, wear something you're comfortable in, and then maybe like find a way, like Achilles was saying, like in your introduction, to like show off your personality a little bit, just simply by saying hello, and just the way that you usually say hello, like your personality will come across, and like, yeah, just be yourself. It's yeah.
Okay, Miss Bayla, your question, please.
Hi. What's one thing you wish you would have done before going into college? Whether it be like taking more dance classes or like voice lessons, something in that vicinity.
Just read plays. Just reading plays, knowing what's going on, reading plays.
That, but also like just trying to, try and learn more about the thing that you want to major in, like if you don't know what's on Broadway, I mean, Broadway before Corona, but if you weren't aware of what was happening on Broadway, but you want to major inside of this thing, like you have to take it seriously and you have to be willing to do your own research. So I would encourage you to really take the time, especially now, to like really look into playbill.com and see like what's going up next year, what's coming down. It's just really important to kind of know what's happening in our industry.
I second that. Yeah, going into college, I didn't know any big names on Broadway. I didn't really know what was on Broadway, which is, I grew up homeschooled. I wasn't like a theater kid. This was like, we were trying something. And I learned a lot really fast, but like, it would have been so useful to know that going in, just sort of general knowledge about the industry. And I think, wait, I'll formulate my thoughts. I'll come back.
If you have the opportunity to, getting up and performing as much as possible if you want to major in musical theater. But that was a huge, like, weird transition for me because I didn't perform like 32 bars in front of people that much. And so that was scary to me because being on stage is comfortable, but that was kind of weird, so.
And you don't need an audience to perform. Like I was saying earlier, like, again, in this like age of self-tapes and Zoom and all of this, again, pick a monologue for the week, and record yourself doing it in your room. And that is practice. You are practicing your craft. So like practicing by yourself is a-okay. If you have an audience, even better. But like if you can practice on yourself, like by yourself, just keep doing it. Like that's like I think the biggest like advice I think I can give is like just keep working on it. Like if this is what you want to do, then you got to do it. Like nonstop, work on your craft, practice every day, pick a song to sing for the day, pick a monologue to do for the day or the week or whatever. Just keep on practicing, even if it's in your room by yourself.
I remembered my thought. Because it's COVID time, there are so many good free online resources right now that you can use and you can find and people can point you to. If you like, a lot of people don't have money to take like constant dance classes or can't like find a good voice teacher in their area, which is like, that's turn to the internet. It's your best friend. You can find people to take from remotely. A lot of big studios in New York, like the Jen Waldman studio, is now online. And I think you can like take a certain number of classes for like $100 for the month. And those are like professionals. They're people that know what they're talking about. They've been doing it for years, or they're like fresh faces as well in the industry. And so you can make connections that way through these like online learning centers. If you aren't aware of No Marking, that started online. What's her name?
Kate Lumpkin.
Kate Love, thank you. She has compiled a giant resource of classes for all kinds of things, be it dance, I think she just has like even general fitness classes or mental health wellness classes, acting coaching. Literally everything is on there. And if you look up just Google No Marking, you'll find it. You can join the Facebook group. All of that stuff is free there. And so that's a great place to start for sure.
Okay. Hannah, you're next, and then Zach will get to your question after Hannah's.
Hi, yes. I was wondering if you guys had the experience with this, like going into college, what did you guys like do that was best for your dance pre-screens, or what advice do you have on those? Because I know a lot of people don't talk about the dance part of it when we have a lot of other things to do.
For me, I'm a tapper. Tap is like my go-to thing. So I made sure to add tap. Like tap was the first video I put in if they asked for dance. Like I wanted to make sure they knew that like that was my home base. And then I recorded a jazz combo and just a ballet warm-up at the bar. Nothing crazy. Literally just at the bar, like pliés, tendus, maybe like a 2-minute bar warm-up. The biggest thing is just like dressing appropriately, and it's truly okay if you don't have a good space to do it in. My friend Andrew got into UCF by recording a dance he choreographed to You Can't Stop the Beat in his kitchen in his socks. But because he was so into it and like just had so much energy, it did not matter that he was in his kitchen. Like if your personality is shining through even in the dance, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Yeah, similar to your normal acting, singing, pre-screen videos, like check all the technical aspects, make sure that like you're in the frame, they can see that high kick, make sure unless it's tapping, dub the music over. That can help just make it seem clean and not like echoey in the space. And then they're not like hearing you like breathe. I don't know. Like it's just the more clean you can edit it, and find friends that are good at editing, ask them to help you. And I think people are a lot more forgiving about what space you're in, especially now, just because like people can't go out to dance studios as easily or find ones to rent when they're all closed because COVID. So like just find what space works best for you. And yeah, what Maddie said, put your strength first, because they will just start skipping the videos. They got so many to go through. So sell yourself right off the bat if you can.
And smile, like show, like we're running out of time real quick, but just like I'm not a dancer like at all, but like when I do like SETC dance calls, like if I'm missing the steps, like, yo, my smile is 100% real big. And Christopher and Travis know this. They've seen me dance before in dance calls. If I mess it up, if I'm not getting the moves, I'm smiling and I'm having a great time, even if I'm not getting the steps. So just like have a good time, even if you're messing up. Make up some moves, like improv it, but like be having a good time.
Okay, sorry, getting to the chat. In your experience, what has been more important in your career? The training you got or the connections you've made? The connections for me, I think, because pretty much every gig I've had in college, and like, yeah, I've only had one out, so pretty much everyone I've had in college is because of a connection I made, literally. And like, obviously training is important too, but for me, it was connections.
Yeah, training is important because, like, you know, if this is what you want to do, you want to be like constantly working on your craft and like working on, like, you know, getting better. But you can do that anywhere. You could do that in your living room, looking up some YouTube videos. But I think like the biggest thing about like college and like just being around a bunch of other people that are doing the same thing as you are, is just like making those connections, networking, going to big conferences. I don't know how that's going to work now in COVID world, but like making connections is really important. I mean, I met some of the people here that I'm working with this summer just last week, but we already have like little connections. We've worked with people that they've worked with before. Like the theater world is so small that like once you start meeting a couple of people, like your networking web just keeps expanding. You keep meeting more people, and that's honestly how you get jobs. Like, yes, your talent and your work is important, but like if you know someone, like, and then or if somebody knows that you worked at another theater the summer before, and they know that you did a great job and you were like super great working there, like, you know, people talk, and theater world is small. Get to know people, talk to people.
Okay, really quickly, I'm gonna move on to Caroline. What's your question?
I'm gonna ask super quick. I don't want to waste time, but one of the things that I've struggled with a lot, especially in theater, is body image and confidence in the areas that you're not the strongest in. So mine kind of tied together. My number 3, I'm singing, acting, dancing. My number 3 is dancing, and body image ties in a lot with that. So just any general tips on like confidence or being true to yourself, not comparing yourself, and just working on the things that you're not best at without tearing yourself down in the process.
Honestly, the schools will make you feel so comfortable. If you get the chance to audition in person, they really want to see you shine. They are rooting for you. They want to fall in love with you, and that is the biggest like yes energy boost you can have. It's hard not to compare yourself to others. I have a friend who completely went off social media when she started auditioning for things, and it wasn't her being like, I have time for social media, I'm too busy working on me. It was like, I cannot click through Insta and Snap stories and see everyone prepping, and it's gonna make me get into my head. So I just need to focus on me. So do what you need to do. And a lot of people will be like, I want to be the next Sutton Foster. I want to be the next Jeremy Jordan. Well, there was no one before them that was the Jeremy Jordan or the Sutton Foster. You have to do your own track, and you don't need to copy someone else's to create your own legacy.
Excluding like the idea of, you know, comparing body images specifically, like this is just a note for every human and every actor. Like we're all on different parts and different courses of life, and we are not all running the same race. So it's just very important to keep in mind that you should not be so hard on yourself. I came in with no dance training, and I'm leaving knowing how to use my face better than I know how to use my legs. And that's fine. Like, it's truly just about what you need to do to make yourself better. So don't compare yourself to others. Not everybody's trying to get the same degree as you. Just focus on you, do what you have to do to make you happy, and make sure you find time to take care of yourself. Self-love, do a face mask, meditate, yoga, whatever you need, just to make sure you're on track in your life.
Yeah, and like you are like you guys are all beautiful. Like you guys are all unique in your own way, and like that is what people want to see. Like that is truly what people want to see, and that is what makes the theater world so amazing. It's like after I don't know, freaking Ben Platt does Evan Hansen, somebody else is in there. I don't want to see them do Ben Platt. I want to see them do them. Like that's what makes this world like so special, is that like if you bring yourself to the table in like the most honest way possible, like that in itself is beautiful. That is what the theater world is about, that, or at least that's what it should be. And like that is what people want to see. Like they want to see you, and like they want to see the good and the bad. Like we truly just want to see you, and if we see you, then like boom, like you get the part. Like if I see your unique self, that if you bring that to the table, like that is what is going to make you stand out. If you try to be someone else, well then, I feel like they were putting on a mask. I feel like they were not really showing me who they were. Show yourself, and that is what's going to make you stand out. No one else is you. Like.
All right, cool. We're going to start doing the closing for this wonderful Q&A, and I'll start. So the questions that we like kind of posed on like our thing was something that we wish we knew before going to college. And to be completely honest, I personally have really enjoyed like going into school and knowing that I don't know everything. And like that's I think the biggest thing that you just have to remember is you're not going to know everything going into school, but you're going to learn so much going into school. You're going to grow so many connections. You're going to learn, it's crazy. Like my mind expanded so much just stepping on campus for the first time, and also all the professors knowing that you don't know everything, which is great. But also I wanted to say before I close off my parts little thing is, I mean, I think I follow most of you on Instagram, and most of you follow me back. It's Annalise Gallio. But if you have any questions or help with like monologue work, I love helping people with monologue work. Music too, but I'm like not the best like music help, but I love helping with monologue work. So please don't feel shy coming to me asking questions. I really would love to help you. It's really fun for me.
Biggest thing I learned in going to school is just like you have to put yourself out there, and that can be scary sometimes, but like the more you do it, the more practice and experience you're getting, and like you're only gonna gain from putting yourself out there. Like you're only gonna, like only good can come from that. Like you're even if you have a bad experience, like you're learning from that, and that's a lesson. That's a good thing that you can like find a silver lining in it. So like put yourself out there as much as you can, because you're like, that makes you constantly be working. So put yourself out there, audition for everything, go to every workshop. I mean, also like take time for yourself, like know how to like balance your life. If you need a break, take your break. But if you don't need a break, keep putting yourself out there. When I, like my first year, there were people that told me not to like go to big conferences like SETC, like you're a freshman. Like, and I was like, no, like if I want to go, I want to go. And I went, and that's how I got my first job here at Mill Mountain, by just like putting yourself out there. And no matter what anyone says, like keep working, and only good can come from that. I'll put my social in there, my social media in the chat.
Real quick, Christopher, after we like grab a picture and all that stuff at the end, will you just stay inside of the group for like 3 minutes so everybody can just check the chat, grab everyone's socials, pull any links and all that stuff so they can just grab it at the end before we all disappear? That's all. As far as me, biggest thing that I learned from my undergraduate experience since I graduated in COVID-19, I I will say that it's so important to just like, especially now, like with Corona just being what it is, it's just so important to find some time for yourself and to kind of distance yourself away from theater occasionally, so you can take time to go focus on an activity that's not theater related. Go see a movie if you're a cinephile, like read books if you're really into that, crochet, embroider, whatever. But like, as much work as we're putting into our crafts, we also have to understand that like we do have the freedom to keep doing the activities that brought us joy before it was all about theater. So keep working on those things.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was up next. I think the biggest thing that I learned or took away from my college experience is that you need to be kind to everyone you meet, because you never know who you're talking to, and you never know if that person is going to be the connection in 5 years that gets you to your dream job, wherever that may be. Like, it may not be Broadway, but like, you just never know who you're talking to, and you never know where they're going to go in life, or when you're going to want their help or need their advice. So kindness will get you everywhere, literally just being respectful. And if you see things, and this is something that I wish I knew, if you see things happening in the classroom that you don't think are right, step up, stand up for your classmates, say, hey, like, that was like a microaggression, that was not okay with me. Let's like talk this out. Like, don't be afraid to stand up to the establishments or to the professors, because not everyone knows everything. Nobody knows everything. And I think it's really good to make sure that everyone feels seen and heard in those spaces that are supposed to be safe spaces. And that's that.
So I didn't visit Shenandoah, so I guess what I took from that is don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid to not like something and change your mind. Embrace imperfections, because that's what I did. And I ended up making my college experience what I wanted it to be by participating in student groups and making myself feel comfortable and surrounding myself with people who were good for me and my energy. Networking, like I said, pretty much almost every job or gig I had was because of the connection, and because they trusted me and they liked me because I was a good person, I think.
Biggest two takeaways I have are: you get out of a program what you put into it. You don't need to go to a big name school. If you work your butt off and you train and you take the time to read the plays assigned, you will get so many things out of the program. And echoing off of Burning Bridges, you really have already met people that you will encounter again and again. Like, I went to high school with Danae Benton, and now she's like, she did Natasha, Great Comet. She was in Hamilton on Broadway. Like, what? I didn't know that when I met her. I used to do workshops as a kid with like older high schoolers when I was in middle school, and now they're like my casting directors at theme parks and have gotten me jobs there. Like, you truly do not know who you're like talking to until 5 years later. Everyone go see Polka Dots. Achilles, tell them about Polka Dots.
Dots is streaming on Broadway On Demand September 15th to October 9th, and you can sign up to get the link at millmountaintheater.com. I think that's all I need to say. But please come see it. See it on your computer or your TV. Send it to your friends, especially if they have young kiddos. It's a kid's show, but it's for everyone because it's really cool. And that's that on that one there. Thank you for being here. Thanks everyone for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Real quick,
Can we take a group picture?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, we'll do a smiling one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Silly face. Now silly one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Incredible.
I was going to say real quick, something cool about polka dots that we've been talking about in our rehearsal process, and that's something that took me a while to like kind of understand and learn, is that like freaking like we can all make it. Like, we can all get to the top, and if you get to the top, freaking lend a hand. Help people get to the top with you, because there's room for everybody. Don't let the theater, because theater people out there exist that like are competitive like all the time, and it's all about competition, and they want to get ahead before anybody else. Don't listen to those people. Like, be nice to everybody. We can all make it. Let's help each other out. It's all a community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's about it. Thanks for coming, everybody. Please follow us all on our social media. We'll follow you back. We're happy to chat there. If you have more questions, we're just hanging out, and we'd love to get to know you. And thank you so much for coming. Yay.
Reach out to us if you guys have any more questions as well on social media. We'll answer.
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yes, you guys are so awesome. Bye, Ellen.
Bye. Thank you.